Hello, this is Reverend Darrell Cook, and thank you for stopping by to Sonsofthunderpro.com. Today, I want to give you some of the basics. These are the things that are going to be the building blocks to everything that you're going to be doing in gospel piano or gospel organ. First thing we have to talk about is scales and the number system. It's so important that you know your scales and that you know the number system, because from the number system you can build formulas for chords, but you can also build chord progressions. And we'll talk about that stuff later on. But first of all, let's just start in the key of C. And you have to know your major scale in all 12 keys. No matter what key you're in, you need to know this scale. Okay, so you need to know that scale in all 12 keys. But let's go back to the key of C. So, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Instead of calling it like that, we'll call it in numbers. But since we're in the key of C, C is our 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And it's very important that you know this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because there'll be times in which you'll hear people call out numbers. They'll say, we're going to play a 2-5-1 chord progression, or we're going to play a 7-3-6 chord progression, or we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to play a 7-3-6-2-5-1-4. And all this stuff, you're hearing all this stuff, but once you know these scales inside out, and you're able to place the chords with the scales, it'll be a breeze. And now you're kind of thinking of numbers, and you won't be locked to one key, because a 2-5-1 in C is a 2-5-1 in E, as long as you know your scales. Okay. It's a 2-5-1 in A. All right. B. And then back to C. So it's very important. 2-5-1. You'll hear progressions like 7-3-6. As far as churchy type stuff. You'll hear stuff like 1-4, but you'll need to know how to get to all those different places. So let's just give you some chords real quickly that you can use to go with every note. So on the 1, let's use a major chord. On the 2, for right now, let's use a minor chord. On the 3, and this will change, let's use a minor chord again. Okay. On the 4, let's use a major chord. And we'll give you some better voicings a little bit later. On the 5, let's use a major chord. So that was a major on the 4, major on the 5, minor on the 6, and let's use 5 chord over the 7 bass. Okay, so quickly let's go through that. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, another major chord, back to 1. So just from that, if somebody called out a 2-5-1, 2, 5, 1, we would know that immediately. So I just kind of wanted to get you started. If you remember anything, please remember this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Memorize that in all 12 keys. You want to know a 2-5-1 in C. You want to know a 2-5-1 in E. You want to know a 2-5-1 in the key of D? What about the key of G? That's key of G. What about on the key of A flat? Alright, so you want to know the 2-5-1s in every key. At least know where they are in the bass line. So if somebody calls out a 2-5-1, at least you know from the perspective of the bass exactly where they're going. If they're in the key of A flat and they call out a 2-5-1, you know 2, the B flat chord, 5 is going to be an E flat chord, and the 1 is going to be A flat chord. So that's all we'll do for right now. Please memorize the number system. In the next video, we are going to talk more in depth about the chords you would use on each note of the number system. So what are the type of chords we play on the 1? What are the type of chords we play on the 2, on the 3, on the 4, on the 5, on the 6, on the 7, and even when we come back home. And so we'll talk about those chords, and then on the third video in this basics, we'll talk about chord progressions and how we get to each place. All right, hope this helps. God bless you.